Introduction. What do we mean by first computer virus? When people talk about the first computer virus, there's an important distinction to make. Earlier self-replicating programs have been written in experimental computing environments in the 1970s, for example, Creeper on ARPANET. And a high school student wrote El Cloner for the Apple II in 1982, which spread via floppy disk. Arxiv Uno. But the first virus to infect IBM PC-compatible personal computers and spread in the real world, the kind most people think about today, was a program called Brain Wikipedia. Who created Brain? The Alvi brothers. Brain was developed by two brothers from Lahore, Pakistan. Basit Alvi. Then around 17 years old, Amjad Alvi. Then around 24 years old. They were founders of a small technology business called Brain Computer Services, where they sold software and computer services. Money Week. Why did they create it? In the mid-1980s, personal computers were becoming more widespread, and software developers were wrestling with software piracy. People copying programs without paying. The Alvi brothers were no exception. They had written medical software for heart monitoring equipment and similar applications. They discovered that pirated copies of their software were circulating both in Pakistan and abroad. Instead of taking legal action, which would have been expensive and difficult, they decided on a technical approach. They wrote Brain as a kind of copy protection mechanism, a program that would infect the boot sector of a floppy disk and show a message identifying their business and contact information. E-T-H-W in their telling. It wasn't a malicious virus, as we think of malware today. It was meant to deter piracy, alerting users that they were using unlicensed copies and giving them a phone number to call for help. Or vaccination removal. Brain and Eat Fiber. The text embedded in the infected disk often included, "Welcome to the Dungeon Scene 1986 Basit and Amjad Private Limited Brain Computer Services. 730 and Isabe, Block Al-Lama, Iqbal Town, Lahore, Pakistan. Phone 430,791, 443,248, 280,530. Beware of this virus. Contact us for vaccination. This message, complete with real phone numbers and address, looks bizarre today, but it reflects the brothers' intention. They wanted to be contacted. Grokipedia. How Brain worked. Brain was a boot sector virus, which meant it replaced the first sector of a disk, the bootstrap loader, with its own code. When a PC started from a floppy disk, the virus would load into memory and then infect any other floppy disks that were inserted later. Wikipedia. Technically, it was relatively simple by today's standards. It didn't corrupt or delete data, and it didn't spread over networks. In fact, it slowed down disk access slightly and changed the volume label to something like Copyright Brain. Wikipedia. Still, because PCs were becoming more common and floppy disks were the main way people shared software. Brain spread outside Pakistan to Europe, North America, and beyond. Unintentionally. Money Week. Public reaction and unintended consequences. Within a short time, the Alvi brothers received calls from computer users in the United States, United Kingdom, and other countries asking how to remove this virus from their systems. They had not expected their creation to spread so widely. Wikipedia. What they saw as a protective marker became one of the first widely noticed virus infections in the personal computer era. The event marked the beginning of an era where malicious or self-replicating code could spread without permission and affect machines far from its point of origin. ETHW historical legacy. Brain is significant for several reasons. It is widely recognized as the first IBM PC compatible computer virus to spread in the wild. Wikipedia. Its existence demonstrated how removable media floppy disks, then USB drives, later could carry self-replicating code between Mundo by. It inadvertently helped create the antivirus industry. Early antivirus tools, including some of the first commercial products, were developed in response to programs like Brain, TRT. World, it didn't destroy data, but it opened developers' eyes to the fact that software could spread by itself and persist without direct human action. An idea that would later be exploited by far more harmful viruses and worms. Mundo Bytes. Today, most cybersecurity histories still cite Brain when discussing the origins of the virus era, even as they note that much earlier experiments and less distributed programs existed long before it. Wikipedia. Misconceptions and clarifications. It's important to correct a few common misunderstandings. Brain was not the world's first computer virus ever. Programs like Creeper and Elk Cloner predated it. Web.ogu.ed, but it was the first to infect IBM PC-compatible systems and spread broadly through normal user activity. Wikipedia. The brothers did not intend to launch a cyber attack. Their motivation was rooted in a real problem for small software developers. What the Alvi brothers did next. After Brain, the brothers continued in the tech field, eventually moving into internet and telecommunications services in Pakistan. Their early work is still cited in documentaries and cybersecurity retrospectives decades later. Wikipedia. Conclusion. The story of the Brain virus and the Alvi brothers is not just a technical footnote. It's a reminder that technology often moves faster than society's ability to understand its consequences. What began as a practical workaround for software piracy inadvertently became a defining moment in the history of malware, cybersecurity, and computing itself. THW